Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord Modded. We're going to be fighting against one of the members of the forest people in this beginning section of the episode, and we are in the we're in a forested snow area, and yeah, we're hopefully going to do a pretty decent job here. Anyway, basically the one thing that I really want to do right now is avoid any kind of conflict with Caladog's army. I think the best thing that I can do is stay out of the way until his army disbands, because, well, as we know, large armies are going to get disbanded very quickly indeed. You gotta have those kinds of things happen to larger armies. I mean, you know, there's, what is it, food supply, and we also have the cohesion to worry about, or they have that to worry about. So once that happens, then we can start dividing, and then we can start conquering them. Or at least I will try to do that, because of course it can always result in a little bit of a gang-up situation, which I would prefer to avoid if at all possible, so obviously that's a bit of an issue. But for the most part, I think we should be fine. I'm hitting for over 100 here most of the time, unless I hit a leg, of course, and I'm still not getting kills. So these guys must have much more HP than just the base 100, so they must have some kind of skill that allows them to survive those hits. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. Anyway, what I'm actually also going to do, as we gain a level, that's pretty nice, I like that. And did I put my guys into auto-delegate? Yeah, I did put them into auto-delegate. Okay, that's fantastic. Because I'm wondering where my friends are, actually, at this point. Because I'm literally running around these guys, weakening them up a little bit. And my friends are somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where at this point. But anyway, my main objective for the foreseeable future, at least, is to try and find a friend somewhere. And I'm thinking we're probably going to do this in a peacetime situation, because I'd very much like to explore what I'm actually capable of doing with the Everything Has a Price perk, because generally that has proven to be very strong in the past. But oh, he actually died. Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, that's fantastic. That's actually really good. Obviously, this kind of vassal is a very minor one. He's not very strong. His army and his units are subpar for the most part. No offense, you know, members of the forest people, but generally they are not that good. So him dying here doesn't really make that much difference, but it does help us in terms of manpower reduction for the opponent. So that's all that really counts, I guess, in the end. But anyway, as I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find, in peacetime this is, so after the war with the Botanians is over, I'm going to try and find someone that has a relatively high relation with me, and then we're going to try and explore a little bit more about the barter system, because I really love the barter system. I think it's a great option as an alternative to battling and war and sieges and all that sort of thing, because obviously the main meat of the game is generally going to be combat. I think you're going to spend most of your time running around the world map, but the main gameplay, quote-unquote, is in a battle and in a siege and so on, because if you don't do those things, then it's highly unlikely you're going to be able to level up a character with any kind of combat skill whatsoever. Although we have done that in the past, where I have created a character solely based on trading and solely based on finishing auto-resolve battles, and very rarely going into a battle. And that worked extremely well, but as I say, that is with the old version of Everything Has a Price, or the old version of the barter system. So I would very much like to try that out, because I did try that in a couple of episodes in this series, and it hasn't really worked out too well, mainly because we're not getting into a situation... Oh, this guy's going to surrender. That's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, we're not usually getting into a situation where we have the relation required to really give us a good idea there. Okay, so someone actually mentioned also, by the way, that the charm skill that you get from selling prisoners or something like that. Oh, now I can't remember your comment. I'm so sorry. Oh well, never mind. Whatever the case, you said something about charm skill being increased much higher from a certain action. I think it is from selling the prisoner rather than just letting them go straight away here. But I could be wrong about that. So I'm actually just going to continue letting these guys go because I obviously want the relation anyway. I think the relation is good. Obviously, with the forest people, I don't really care about that, to be honest. You know, relation with the forest people is really not a concern of mine. But it's always good to have some relation here and there, and to also increase our honor rating, because I think if we actually just take a quick look here, going to take a look at Byron here real quick. So you see here, yes, we are actually doing pretty well in terms of honor rating. As you can see, we are honor 1. I actually am not sure whether we can even reach honor 2. I don't know whether that is modifiable in any way. But if it is, then that could be pretty useful. We are actually age 32 at the moment as well, so that's kind of interesting too. And let's actually, you know what? Let's see what kind of friends we have. Okay, so as you can see, this guy, well, yeah, he's obviously the ruler of Liberatus, which is rather amusing. But yeah, we don't really want to speak to him. So let's see what I can do here. So these are basically all part of our own faction, right? So it's highly unlikely we're going to be able to... Ah, hello. This guy. Is he the leader of his clan? He is. Ah, now fantastic. I will send a messenger to him. Now this is going to be kind of interesting. I think they have something. Yes, they have a castle under their control. So what we're going to try to do is, because he has 51 relation with us, which is, well, pretty good. I mean, in the past I have managed to persuade people with much less. As long as they have a positive relation, from my experience, that usually makes all the difference in the world. So let's have a look. Okay, so what do you think of your liege? Oh, you're in an army at the moment, of course. Of course. Okay, well, what about a proposal? Okay, so if you give me this, and I give you a little bit of cash, well, that's really not going to work, because, of course, this castle, apparently to him, is worth more than 424,000. And bear in mind that he does have 51 relation with us as well. Relation really... I don't know. I feel like it needs to make more of an impact. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyway, we're going to move on and see if we can maybe find some more aggressive vassals to fight. And we'll continue trying to look for those situations where we might be able to get into a nice barter situation, or indeed try to persuade vassals to join our own. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, she's got -2. This is not really going to work out too well then, I suppose. Yeah, let's just leave her alone for the moment. Now, what I'm hoping... Oh, we have Valuka. Valuka is actually under siege. Let's go and see what we can do about helping out there. No doubt it's Caladog's army. What do you bet? Yeah, they took it. Yes, it is indeed Caladog's army, so there would be nothing that I could do there, unfortunately. But this does give me a good opportunity to follow in his footsteps, because there are a bunch of other vassals attempting to maybe join the army itself. And so we obviously want to make sure that that does not happen. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, here we go. Yes, they're not surrendering. Fantastic. Oh yeah, so also, the main thing that we have to consider here about attempting to persuade vassals to join us is that, obviously, we need good relation with them, but I think we need a lot more money, and that's also a bit of a problem. I actually explained a whole bunch about this in the previous episode. If you missed that, then you definitely want to check it out. Did see a couple of comments from people that didn't seem to listen to the previous episode, or maybe you did and maybe you just didn't get it, but whatever the case, hopefully we're going to be seeing if we can maybe persuade someone in the meantime. Oh, 901 damage to the head. Wow, that's got to hurt. He's going to wake up tomorrow. Is he going to wake up tomorrow? Actually, I'm not entirely sure if I killed him. Was that a death? Yeah, I think that was actually a death, because the other guy I just knocked unconscious. Wow, yeah, he's not going to wake up tomorrow then. Okay, here we go. Ooh, that was worrisome. That was worrisome right there. I really thought to myself, oh yes, this was very risky indeed. Yeah, usually couch lancing against the AI is very ill-advised, because they just have such good timing that they are going to be able to beat you pretty much every single time. If you try to couch lance them, they're going to extend their lance at the same time as you get into range, and they're just going to beat you by a small amount. If you have relatively similar length polearms, it really is going to be in their favor, unfortunately. But I am able to do some pretty nice damage right here, too. I feel like I've gotten a bit better with using the polearm. Is it just me? I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like I am doing a little bit better with that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to take my people off auto-delegate, and I'm actually going to tell them to go over here, because I feel like they're being way too passive right now. I feel like I want them to be a bit more aggressive, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of horses without riders around here. They must have gotten killed by some of our cavalry or something like that. And yeah, we're just using our cavalry to kind of skirmish with the opponent, which generally is a good idea, but we just don't have enough cavalry to really make a big dent in the opponent's forces. So obviously that's a bit of an issue. But anyway, let's see if we can maybe do something here. Well, that really worked, didn't it? Yes, that was fantastic. Alright, we're going to get our infantry out the front here. We're going to put them into a shield wall ahead of schedule just because I really want them to get ready for the opponent to come over the crest of that ridge over there. They're probably going to be coming there relatively soon. And oh, I've already put them in loose formation. Okay, that's fantastic. I have no thrown weapon, guys. For some reason. Or it seems like they may have already used all of their thrown weapons potentially. And that might be the reason why they are unable to use them now, and they've been converted into infantry potentially. That might be the way it's going for us right here. These guys actually use crossbows sometimes? Did you see that? Did that guy... Was a Batanian unit actually using a crossbow? That's very strange. That usually doesn't happen. Oh well, never mind. I'm going to put these guys into line formation now and actually tell them to charge in, because it seems like the enemy is so disjointed right now that we really don't even need to stay in formation. I feel like we should be able to run them down pretty fast, especially if we can get very fast kills in a quick amount of time, or a fast amount of time. Then it is going to, well, do even more morale damage than they know what to do with, and they're going to start running away, which is exactly what they're doing right now. I feel like I'm much better with the polearm than I used to be. When I first started the series, I was barely able to get one kill, maybe like a handful of kills per fight. But now it's, oh yeah, now it's nice and simple, very, very satisfying. And there it is. We lost one enemy. I mean, one unit even. We lost one enemy. Yes, no. No, we didn't lose one enemy. We lost a bunch. Yes, we lost a bunch. Anyway. Oh, she has plus 21. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Okay, yeah. We'll just do that. We don't have any towns nearby, so I'm just going to have to leave the prisoners, unfortunately, and we'll just take the rest of the loot. And there is a town over there, but I really didn't want to take a huge amount of prisoners, just in case a large army was nearby. That would be somewhat problematic. And I'm going to unmark Valuka right here. I need to unmark that. Thank you very much, because it seems like it's marked it for some reason. Anyway, there's another 9,000 in cash for us right there too. And we're going to be able to sell all of our armaments and various other things here too. Okay, so you know that I said in the previous episode that I wanted to make a new mace. Well, that's what we're going to try and do now, but I do need to make sure, yeah, it seems like I do have enough charcoal and I have enough hardwood and all that stuff. So let's head in here. New mace, where's that? What? Oh, there. I was looking for one-handed mace, because they do one-handed axe, one-handed sword, two-handed mace, and I was looking for one-handed mace, but it just says mace. So there's that. Okay. So let's try and go for something really good. So what about this? Is that good? It looks alright? Yeah? It looks alright? I mean, maybe? It's got good length, which I really don't care about that much. Yeah... Length is not really something I'm looking for right now, so I'm thinking we're probably going to... Yeah, I think we'll take this one, and I could actually go shorter as well if I wanted to. So let's actually just see how much it changes. The handling. Okay, so it goes up to 102. So let's just make the handling something like this. 100 handling seems pretty good to me. Now, the handle, is that really going to make that big a difference? Well, yes, in terms of a length situation, yeah, that will definitely make a difference. So let's just have a look. Seems like they're very similar. Okay, I want the handling to be even better than this. Is that it? Is that really the best I can do? Huh. Okay. I guess that? Really? That's it? Okay, yeah, let's go for that and let's see what happens. Well, that was it. Okay. We got no bonuses whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure if I even have those smithing masterwork, you know, master craftsman perks or anything like that. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see. What do I want to go for here? What do I want to go for? I have no idea. I'm wanting to go for something like bash your face, thanks, but I want to go for something a little bit different. What about bonk? Yes, there we go. Bonk. Okay, wait a minute. Off we go to Bonk Town. You could take that a variety of different ways, but there you go. That's what we're going to call it. Okay, that is, well, kind of bad. That is a bad name. That is an extremely bad name, but we're going to go for it, and we're going to try it out in the next siege that we get into. Let's actually just take a quick look if it's actually any good. Oh, it is. Look at that. It seems to be pretty decent. The weapon tier is 5. It's got a 64... Oh, wow, that's actually a lot less. Look at that. But the length is the main reason. Just look at the length of this one. Bash Your Face Thanks has a length of 69, right? Heh, yeah. And it has a swing speed of 87, but this has a swing speed of 101, and the length is 44, so it is extremely different in its statistics, and that's exactly what I was going for. So let's take a look at what's going on here. We've got Mirko, we've got Hashan, and we've got Caladog's army. Obviously, he's attempting to take this castle, but he was now thwarted in his effort, which is, I suppose, pretty good. And are they gonna fight? Don't fight, sir. I'm surprised that he's actually getting caught at this point. There should be no way that an army with 400 should get caught by an army of over 1,000. That makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, we have leveled up, so let's just do a little bit of perk selection before we get into this fight. I'm assuming they are probably going to fight at some point here. If your party is more than 75% cavalry, you see 50% less speed penalty in forests. That's actually fantastic. That is a really, really good perk. And I don't often say that, but this is exceptional. For those of you that really like having infantry-only armies, so for example, if you're, I don't know, using the Sturgians, or if you're using the Nordlings, in the case of Calradia Expanded, I don't think they have very good cavalry. I could be wrong about that, because I obviously haven't checked their troop trees or anything like that, but generally, Nords, especially in Warband, are known for not having any cavalry whatsoever, and their infantry is really good. So having this perk is really going to make a huge difference. 50% less speed penalty, that's fantastic. And what else do we have here? 5% movement speed bonus in deserts and dunes. Well, this is obviously really good if you're going to be fighting in Aserai territory almost all the time. Bear in mind that I don't have more than 75% cavalry, so me receiving 50% less speed penalty in forest is not going to work. Generally, I feel like this 75%, I feel like it's a little bit too high. I think that, in general, most armies are either going to be 50-50 in terms of infantry archers, or they're going to be, you know, maybe 60-40, maybe 70-30, but 75% or above is very, very difficult to maintain, because you're going to get outmaneuvered by cavalry. Archers are just going to tear you apart for the most part, and it's going to be a very difficult way to play. But that's not to say it's impossible. It can work. But for that reason, and also for the fact that generally I'm liking movement speed much more than, well, the other thing, we're going to go for Desert-Born here. And what do I want to spec into? Well, leadership might make sense, but it doesn't really give me anything great. I might want to go for this, because this does give me the opportunity, a 10% chance at least, to create a masterwork weapon, which might be fun, and also getting my endurance increased by 1 could also be interesting. so it might make sense. What? Look at that. Pierce damage of crafted weapons increased by 2%, and cut damage of crafted weapons increased by 2%. Where's the bashing? Where's the bonking? Where's that? Where's the bonking damage? Apparently the bonking damage is not being looked after right there. But yeah, I guess we'll just increase the smithing skill a little bit. And we'll also increase our endurance. Because I'm going to be getting another 1 in endurance. So that's going to be 10. So that's going to work out really nicely from this. If we can actually make it to 225. It's unknown whether that will happen. But let's take a look and see what happens here. Because I'm kind of antsy. I'm kind of antsy to get into this fight. And I'm not entirely sure if it's going to happen. But it would be very cool if it did. I would like to participate in as large a battle as this is. Well, it seems like the battle did not happen. As you can see, the army moved on, and we have another army attempting to take Thractori Castle, which is obviously not exactly great. But Mirko's army is coming around to try and defend it, which is fantastic. So I'm going to intercept this guy because Yamina may want to help me out. Okay, apparently why is she chasing Caladog's army? That makes no sense whatsoever. But we're going to try and deal with this guy. Is he... Oh, he's not going to surrender? Are you serious? I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I would have expected him to surrender very, very quickly there because he is outnumbered, outgunned, and all kinds of other outs right there. But yeah, there you go. Seems like he's, I don't know. Maybe he's just a bit confused, you know? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I certainly would not make this kind of decision. Or maybe I would. Who knows? Sometimes I can make some very, very weird decisions that don't readily become apparent. But what you fail to realize is that I'm actually extremely intelligent, and I can make a very, very good tactical option strategy thing that works against the tree. You see that? I'm obviously joking. I am obviously joking. I do not believe that 1 second. I think that I'm okay. Average. But I don't think that I'm the best by any means. Oh, that is just hilarious. I mean, actually, to be fair, someone did say that I am probably the worst commander that they have ever seen. And I gotta say, that's fantastic. Thank you. I have said that before, and I do appreciate it. But generally, that's always amusing. That is always amusing. Yeah, also, we are going to now go in. Let's do this. Oh, okay. I actually wanted to do a really nice thrusting attack right there, but I got one of them, I guess. I got one of them, so I guess that's pretty good. But generally, not great. Not great. I actually quite like the... did I just tell them to charge? I think I might have just told them to charge in right here. If I did tell them to charge, I think I quite like that against these smaller armies, because auto-delegating tends to make my forces quite cautious, and in some situations that's definitely going to be really, really good, but in others, yeah, not so much. Anyway, there we go. That is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the relation with these guys, but I guess it's decent. Alright, there we go. Now let's go back here and see what's happening at Thractori Castle. Oh, Mirko's army's much larger now, for some reason. He must have had an additional vassal join him or something. So that's going to be really nice to see. Can we go into a battle? We might be able to. Go, Mirko! Why? What? Ah, yeah. Maybe I should have attacked. Hey, I probably should have attacked at this point. Oh, there we go, there we go. He turned around. Big mistake, sir. There we go. Big mistake. Alright, that is fantastic. So, let's take a look and see what we can do here. So, obviously, we have a pretty good... strength advantage. We have a numbers advantage. It is nighttime, though, so I'm not a big fan of that. But, yeah. That is kind of funny. Oh well, never mind, never mind. Okay, yeah, we have barely any units for me to command, so I'm just going to tell them to auto-delegate so they can work together with our allied forces, and then we'll see what happens with that. I will try to weaken up the opponent a little bit, so I'm going to try and focus down some of their cavalry. Even if I can take out their horse or something like that, that is better than nothing, pretty much. I mean, I don't really want to do that because I feel like it's a bit of a waste. But it's better than them running around on a horse and potentially being able to do massive damage. We took that guy off his horse. Did you see that? Yeah. That perk is starting to work much, much more often now that I'm being more accurate with my attacks. That guy managed to survive. Do you see that? Crazy. And here we go. It's time for the clash. Fantastic. Oh, yes. This is exactly what we want to do. And did you see that I actually took out one of their leaders? I was trying for that, actually. I was trying for that. I saw these guys waiting on their mounts, and I was thinking, there's bound to be one of them being the commander. And I didn't even know whether it was, but I basically just went for it. And it turned out that it indeed was one of them. So that is pretty good, because that is going to deal a lot of morale damage, even if it doesn't theoretically, you know, eliminate, what, I don't know, 10, 20 units. It is going to result in a couple of them maybe wanting to run away like we are seeing right here. And I'm thinking we're actually doing quite well in terms of the amount of kills that we're getting, at least. Gonna try and focus down some of their cavalry. Oh yeah, that was nice. Wow, look at that. Taking out one of those Palatian Lancers, that is certainly a good idea because they are gonna do massive damage to anyone they run into. More reinforcements coming in. Ah, those overhead thrusts. They are a complete waste of time for me. Unless I'm attacking archers at a very, very slow pace. They generally are quite accurate then, but for the most part, when you're trying to do swift attacks against enemy cavalry, they're too inaccurate, at least for me. Oh, they seem to have gone into a very defensive formation right there, and our forces are kind of reconsolidating themselves over there and trying to regroup a little bit. I'd like to try and take out this cavalry if at all possible. He's being a bit annoying. Seems like they're just Botanian scouts. That's very strange. I would expect them to be much more resilient than that because they seem to be surviving for a pretty large amount of time. Now, this is an epic fight if ever I saw one, because literally, we have not been in one of these for a while, and I am actually kind of surprised that I am able even to survive this long. Usually, I tend to get taken out quite fast, but in this one, we seem to be surviving quite well. I think that is because we're mainly staying at maximum speeds, and we're trying our very best to eliminate some of the higher tier units on their mounts. We're trying to stay on the outskirts of the ranged forces, and we're making things very, very difficult for the opponent to sort of pin us down, you know, because if we get stopped, you know, if I get hit by a tree, you know, I mean, let's just say if I hit a tree, then obviously that's gonna spell a bit of doom for me. But for the most part, if I'm able to stay fast, stay furious. Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry. I had to do that. Anyway, point is, if we're able to stay on the move and stay mobile, that we should be perfectly fine. Jordana, oh, that is one of ours. That is one of ours, I believe. She has fallen. And I believe that is all she wrote. I think so, at least. Unless they're going to receive more reinforcements, which they might. But I think at this point they have probably expended all they are willing to expend. And I don't think that they have any more to offer us. Oh yes, and before I forget, actually someone did mention that the shield perk that I was, shall we say, debating taking in the previous episode, I think that shield perk did actually have something to do with benefiting your own unit. So every single one of them has a more durable shield. I think it's like 5% or something to every single shield. And generally, yeah, I would agree with what you said, because you said that the single perk, so the thing that only affects your own character, that's not that useful, and I agree with that. As I said at the time, you obviously concur with my thoughts on that, but the secondary effect that provides almost a multiplicative effect when it comes to its percentage application to the other units in your army, you know, every single one of them having 5% or 10% additional shield duration, or durability, should we say. That is extremely useful, because just think about it. If you have an entire army, or let's say you have, I don't know, 50% of these guys with massively good shields, you know, tier 5, tier 6 shields, then it is going to, well, it's going to make them much more durable over time, because let's just say that they're all in a shield wall formation as well. It's basically going to make it almost impossible for them to have their shields be destroyed, because they're all covering for each other at the same time. So thank you for your analysis on that, because I very much appreciate having these kinds of discussions, because it does shed more light on my own thoughts as well, because you know, I'm not going to be right, you know, half the time, even 2% of the time, or even whatever, you know, I'm not going to be right about certain things. And generally, I suppose it is very subjective, of course, about what kind of perks you want to take, because maybe you're just a character that doesn't use a shield. But I would say that for the most part, it's really nice to hear from other people to see what they think about the same perk, because there might be something that I haven't thought of, and vice versa. Maybe I mentioned something that you haven't thought of, and so on. So it's really nice to sort of collaborate on that, even if it is a bit of a pseudo collaboration, because obviously we're not talking in real time, but it's pretty cool anyway. So I'm just going to basically be letting most of these people go. Seems like most of them are actually from minor factions, which I'm kind of surprised at. This guy's got 19 relation with us. Let's just continue to try and get that leveled up as fast as we possibly can. And we have a bunch of extra rescued prisoners here. I will be taking them just for the sake of taking them. I don't really want to use them that much, but I'm going to try and see if we can maybe take some more prisoners here as well, because we've seen that they are quite useful for selling. So there we go. Let's take all that, take all the loot too, and we are done with this very large-scale battle. And that has now... Wait a minute. What's actually happened here? They rebelled! Look at that! They actually rebelled against the Botanians when they took it back. That is hilarious. Okay. That's fantastic. That's actually really, really good, because now that is drawing their attention even more. Wow. That is really, really cool. I mean, to be fair, the Botanians must be a bit delusional to to actually try to beat us here. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe not. Look at that, 3,500. That's insane. They actually still have really good combat strength. I actually thought they had much less. But apparently they've been doing some pretty good work getting their forces back up to scratch. And with that, that will be the end of this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.